happy and pleased to introduce Dr. Rosana Lastra. She's going to be talking to us today about pediatric house calls. She is a physician, board certified pediatrician, and owner of Head2Toe Pediatrics in St. Petersburg, Florida. And she started out her DPC doing only house calls, which she'll talk about. So yeah, I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Lastra.
Thank you. So nice to be here with everyone. And I would like to preface today's talk by saying that I am in my home with two little ones. So they are sleeping right now, but if you hear noises, you will know who those are. But so we'll get started with that. But yes, I'm going to be talking about how I started Head2Toe Pediatrics, my DPC practice here in St. Petersburg, Florida, and talk to you guys a little bit more about the aspect of house calls for those who are interested in pursuing maybe a house call only practice or offering house calls as part of what you're doing for your practice. Let's see. Perfect. So today we're going to talk about some pros and cons to house calls, travel considerations when you are moving with your clinic, safety, boundaries, as well as answer any questions that Marina may have that may shed some additional insight for you guys. So my path to DPC was not a straight path. And here you have an actual Uber ride during a conference that I went to in Chicago. And if you live in Chicago or you visited Chicago, you know, they have a lot of these tunnels where it's like under roads, but it's still above. So I was supposed to be going from A to B. And it was like a tunnel area, but the Uber driver took a lot of different turns and twists to get to point B. And that pretty much explains how I started my DPC practice. So a little bit about me. I did my residency training in Tampa, Florida. Currently, Tampa's like 30 minutes from where I'm practicing, so I came back to my hometown in a way. But after I graduated from residency, I had always thought about concierge, is kind of what you had heard about back in the day. And I remember talking to some of my attendings about potentially doing a concierge type practice and being told like, that's not a thing. Like you need to charge insurance in order to make any money. Like don't even consider that. So I was like, okay, I guess I will, you know, go practice the regular route, go work for a company. So I did do that. And that took us to San Francisco, where I started to work for a big practice as an outpatient pediatrician, full-time job. And that was going well. I worked there for 2 years. After the 2-year mark is whenever you get presented to determine if you're going to become partner with this practice or not. And that time came, and then they presented me. I'm not in this meeting, but then they're talking to me after and they tell me, you know, we voted against making you partner at this time because we feel that you still need to learn about not being very vocal in terms of things that are happening in the clinic. So I would always complain if, you know, there was an extra patient that was added and double booked, and if it was something that didn't necessarily need to be in my calendar, if another provider was out, I would kind of always get the extras and it'd always be clumped to my schedule. And they'd be like, you know, that's how we grow here. You kind of start at the bottom of the totem pole and you work your way up. But I was not a big fan of that model. And I was very vocal about that. So I didn't become partner. But the funny part is that what I was told, that's like, you know, maybe you're being too vocal. It may be, you know, culturally because, you know, you're a Latina. And I was like, what? So that definitely to me was a big indication of this is not a good place for me to be at. So I quit my job and I went to travel the world. So here you have lots of photos of places I visited. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I literally quit my job from one day to the next. It was a complete surprise to them. It was a complete surprise for me that I was going to be quitting. I had absolutely nothing lined up, but I told myself I'm just going to give myself some time to travel and figure it out. During this time, I did decide to do locums, and I actually found that I liked the flexibility that locums provided, and allowing me to travel was still picking up some gigs here and there.